I'm going to finish it off like chapter 2 and the chapter 3. Okay. It was vid when we arrived to school. Instead of going to our old building, we walked right past it to our new area called the multi-purpose area. There were already heaps of kids waiting there. Danny and I soon spotted our gang, Nicole, Sarah, and Annabelle. It was excellent to see them again. We've been friends since the first day of school. People often ask if we are called sisters. This is pretty funny because we look totally different. For example, Danny is tall with lots of freckles, while Annabelle is short and has olive skin. But we think the same. One day we all turned up at school with our hair done the same style. It was like we belonged to a secret hairstyle club. No one believed it was an accident. We didn't have long to chat. The bell rang and our new teachers came in. Everyone went quiet. Mr. Stavros winked at us, but Mr. Clark didn't even smile. My friends and I all looked at each other. I knew we were all thinking the same thing. I hope we're in Miss Stavros' class. Mr. Stavros read out his class list. Nicole's name got called, then Sarah's, then Annabelle's. They went over to the left side of the room looking happy. Danny and I were left on the right side. We were in Miss Clark's class, and our gang had been split up for the first time ever. I was glad that at least Danny and I were together. The two classes left the area behind their two new teachers. Already Mr. Stavros' class was laughing at some joke he'd made, but our class was completely quiet. Our classroom looked much bigger than Miss Ken's did last year, and the walls were really bare. The first thing we had to do was choose a seat. Naturally, Danny and I sat together. Then Miss Clark started talking. "You're not babies anymore," she said, "so I don't want to see any baby behavior," she told us the classroom rules. Classroom rule number 1. Always put your hand up if you have a question. Classroom rule number 2. Don't leave your seat without permission. Classroom rule number 3. Don't talk while the teacher is talking. Danny looked at me and pulled a face, and I pulled one back. But we made sure Miss Clark didn't see. There was probably a rule about that too. New classroom rule: no pulling faces. Next, Miss Clark had a surprise for us, but it wasn't a good one. We are going to have a maths test, she said. I will call out the problems. Write the answers down as quickly as you can. I couldn't believe it. We had only been back at school for an hour and already we were having a math test. Through the wall, I could hear Mr. Stavers's class. He was playing guitar and they were singing along. I could tell they weren't doing a math test. Miss Clark started calling out the questions. I knew the answer to the first one, but then they got harder and I started having trouble. I looked around. Everyone else was scribbling down the answers. As the test went on, I started feeling sick. There were some questions that I thought I understood, but Miss Clark was going so fast I didn't have time to think. It was terrible. It looked like I was going to be handing in a piece of paper with hardly anything on it. I looked at Danny. She was writing down the answers as quickly as Miss Clark caught out the questions. Did I mention that as well as being brave and funny, Danny was also really brainy? I didn't want her to know I was having trouble with the test, so I started guessing. I just wrote down anything that came into my head and hoped that some of my answers would be right. At the end, Miss Clark collected our sheets. Then she gave out some more problems to do for homework. That was easy, said Danny, looking relieved. I thought maths was going to be hard this year. My stomach felt really weird, like I'd eaten a hot fun sundae and done 20 spins in a row. Danny knew something was wrong. Are you okay? She asked. You look strange. I always told her that I had found the math test hard, but I didn't. Because if I told her, then she would know my terrible secret. I wasn't smart enough to be in this grade. Thank you. I'm going to read chapter 4 in the next video. And back to school. Bye.